So here's something interesting. The Zulu King, Misuzulu Zwelithini, gets around 79 million rand per year for his royal house budget from the KZN provincial government. But that's just income. The real asset of the king, just like the royal family in England, is the real estate that's held in a trust, and in KZN, this trust is called the Ingonyama Trust. After him, Ingonyama. It started in 1994, and the trust is said to be worth around 24 billion rand, and it controls 2.8 million hectares, or around 1/3 of inhabitable land in KZN. Over 5 million people live on the land, and the trust collects around 118 million rand plus in rental income from inhabitants and people who are renting every single year. The trust looks after the land that has previously fallen under the jurisdiction of the former KwaZulu-Natal homeland, and this was done on behalf of the king, who looks after the land for the people. The mainly Zulu people and others living on the land are meant to be the final beneficiaries of the trust, alongside the king. But the disbursement of funds, according to the UCT Land and Accountability Research Center, is vaguely reported upon, with no mention made of how distributions, if any, are put to use. That's what the report is saying. The Ingonyama Trust Board was established in 1997 to administer the affairs of the trust itself and also to manage its finances. But since 2016, the trust and the board have been operating as a separate legal entity. The report says that with the board submitting its financial statements, but not the financial statements of the trust. Since the 2019-2020 year, the board no longer prepares the trust's financial statements in accordance with the PFMA, a situation apparently accepted by the Auditor General. As a result, information in relation to the trust income and the disbursements of funds to beneficiaries of the trust is vaguely reported upon, with no mention made of how much distributions, if any, are put into use. This is what the report has said. In the past, the trust, through its chairperson, however, has said that it was under no obligation to report on anything over and above the approximate 20+ million rand that it receives from the government for administrative costs every single year. However, two panels, the Land Reform Panel appointed by President Cyril Ramaphosa and the High-Level Panel headed by former President Kgalema Motlanthe, both of these panels have previously recommended that the trust should be disbanded or reconfigured. This has, however, prompted outrage from parts of the royal house, obviously, and other chiefs in KZN, who have said that it appears that government was preparing to expropriate the land without compensation. According to the Ingonyama Trust disbursement policy, the king received 5% of the entity's income, while inkosi would receive 10% of the revenue which the trust generated within the area presided over by inkosi themselves. The trust is required by law to spend 90% of its income on KwaZulu's people. Talking about people, there's also a concern that some of the trust rental income and agreements are quite high for the people who are actually utilizing the land. In one case, a resident stated that the terms of the new lease agreements were not explained to her at all, and all documents were printed in English, not much Zulu. And only when she received the final copy of the lease in 2012 did she realize that she would henceforth pay 1,500 rand annually, escalating at 10% per year, for her 0.24 hectare plot, and that everything on it could be taken away if she did not pay this rent. Another stated pensioner said that she received a grant of about 1,300 rand and she had to borrow money just to survive. As part of a separate report submitted circa 2019, the Ingonyama board reported that 95.85% of its budget had been spent on administration, all of it, with only a small portion going to the rural development in the province. Look, my personal opinion is that the king should be funded, but how this is done should also benefit the people on the ground. He is the custodian of the land for everybody. I know that the comment section is going to be rather exciting, but what I'm hoping for is that we can all come with solutions from different perspectives. What are your views on this matter? I honestly just want to hear the views of KZN people on this one. How do they feel about the trust, its way of working, and how it keeps the land and disperses the resources coming from the land for them? Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully it was as interesting as you hoped it would be. Check out one of these other videos and hopefully they'll be just as interesting as this one. Cheers.